Hello, let's take a look at using lifelines in knitting. Lifelines function as a way to save our place. It's kind of holds our stitches as a place that we can come back to if we need to frog our work. The easiest way, for me at least, to run a lifeline is to use a tapestry needle. I have a very blunt one with a little curve in it. And so I look at the stitches that are right here on my needle and I run right through kind of the bottom of that V. I don't go through the actual strands of yarn. I do go around them. When you go through the strain of yarn, it ends up looking not so nice when you end up taking the lifeline out. Sometimes it works well to run it through a lot of stitches first and then pull out a good length. Ideally, you would have enough lifeline yarn to span across the whole project. Sometimes we might find in a moment that we don't care for how the project is turning out, or maybe there has been an oops, or we'd like to try something different, or we're experimenting and whatnot. And so we might want to run a lifeline in a previous row. Here, my project is in moss stitch, so it's a little trickier to see the defined rows. But we'll come down a couple and we look at kind of the path that this particular bit of yarn takes. And I am going to go through the right side, under and up, and I am going to follow this string to kind of help me keep my place in the row. Because it's a little tricky with moss stitch. It's easy to go diagonally and end up on a row below or above. It's a little easier when the project is still on the hook because you are able to hold it a little more evenly. And with moss stitch, it's easy to want to tilt it and follow these, but we don't want to do that. We want to hold it nice and straight like that. And so following the stitch, making sure I'm still following the same bit of string. This is definitely an act of concentration. It's challenging to do with the TV on or other visual distractions. Let's see how I'm doing here. All right, so far it looks kind of even. And so I'll just pull this on through. And like with our current row, when we come across a yarn over, we just slip it through the same way we would any other stitch. I do not have one on this row to show you. And then if you are working on a pattern with cables, that's a whole other beast. And then when we are ready to not have our lifeline anymore, or if we find that we goofed up or for any other reason need to pull it out, I like to gently ease it out with the eye of my needle. Sometimes a crochet hook is also helpful for this. Sometimes it can seem very tempting and satisfying to grab it from the way end and pull it out. Sometimes that works depending on how tight the stitches are in your regular project and the kind of yarn used. And sometimes it does not work quite so well if you have like a lot of stitches like this, because it does kind of bunch up as we're pulling it through. And but it did actually work here. And so that is how to do a lifeline with knitting. Thank you for joining me. If you like this video, please kindly click the like button and perhaps even subscribe for more content. Blessings.